Chapter 6. The battle rages on. Titana said, "So, I have something special tonight for the man. I thought it would be fitting since Ricardo has his soldiers here tonight to see the entertainment." And Nicole said, "What? Ricardo's here? This plan that Sasquatch made has gone from bad to worse." Titana said, "Give it up for the belly dancer." So Nicole appeared in front of the Amazons and performed in front of Ricardo's soldiers. That's when a bunch of Ricardo's soldiers started to sweat a bunch and got really nervous. Ricardo said, "Keep your cool, fools." That's when Titana had her eye on this mysterious dancer. That's when Titana looked at the performer and thought she looked awfully familiar. So Sasquatch saw the executioner and he decided to follow him. So when the executioner wondered who was following him, so he looked back, but he didn't see anyone back there. Sasquatch continued to follow the executioner. The executioner looked back and saw nothing. So then the executioner continued. So Sasquatch continued to follow him. When the executioner looked back again and wondered why he was hearing footsteps, until Sasquatch appeared in front of him. That's when Sasquatch managed to knock out the executioner with a Rutchit kick. So Sasquatch took the executioner's uniform and disguised himself. So Sasquatch went up to Nicole and she didn't notice him at first. So then Nicole decided to keep Titana from spotting Sasquatch, was to distract Titana herself. So Nicole went into the crowd and did a dance on one of Ricardo's soldiers. The soldiers were cheering for their fellow soldier until Titana noticed that something was up. She kept an eye on Sasquatch while Nicole was trying her hardest to distract Titana by giving one of Ricardo's soldiers a kiss. Sasquatch said, "Oh, Anne, you could have done better." So then Titana saw the tail and it gave it away. Titana said, "Intruder! Behind the stage! Get him!" So then Sasquatch ran towards the stage, and that's when the executioner appeared in front of Ricardo's soldiers. That's when they looked in shock. That's when both of Ricardo's soldiers cornered Sasquatch. Titana said, "Unmask the intruder." And Titana saw it was Sasquatch. That's when Nicole was spotted by Titana. Titana said, "Capture her!" And she was captured as well. Titana said, "Go have a seat, dear." So Titana had Nicole sit next to her. Titana said, "It looks like you and your friend's plan backfired, didn't it?" And Nicole had that look of disappointment. On her face. Sasquatch said, "How did you know it was me?" Titana said, "The tail gave you away." Sasquatch said, "Oh, darn it. I knew I should have planned better." And Nicole said, "Not to be rude, but what would happen if I got up?" Titana said, "Then I would have to kill you. But you did give Ricardo's soldier a great performance, so I'll let you live, but to see your friends die in front of your eyes." And Nicole said, "No! Sasquatch!" Sasquatch said, "I'm sorry, Anne. I should have listened to Rutchit." Ricardo's soldier had Sasquatch put in a pillory. Rutchit said, "What happened to the plan where I said to go to the village and get help?" And Nicole said, "Both of your plans suck." Titana said, "Wow, you took the words out of my mouth." Rutchit said, "Anne, you should have known not to listen to this dunderhead." And Nicole said, "Speak for yourself, Rutchit. You both doomed us from the start." Titana said, "See, even she doesn't have the guts to talk down to me." And Nicole said, "Excuse me?" Titana said, "You heard me, little girl." And Nicole said, "I'm not a little girl anymore." That's when Titana slapped her. And Nicole said, "What the heck, lady?" Titana said, "Well, you're not a woman either. Let the execution begin." First off, it's Rutchit. He was the student of Master Shaman, a Rutchit master who studied the Rutchit arts. And second on the list for execution is Sasquatch, his faithful sidekick. Sasquatch said, "If I get out of this, she will get a sidekick to her hideous face." Titana said, "What insubordinate behavior?" Maya said, "You're no catch, honey." Ricardo said, "Maya, get back on the ship." Maya said, "I was bored, and I wanted to see what was up in this area, and it seems we have entertainment with us." And Nicole said, "Wow, this is the warrior that Ricardo has for a student? She lacks patience and discipline." Maya said, "I'll teach you about patience and discipline." Ricardo said, "Maya, go, now!" Maya said, "But Master Ricardo." Titana said, "But Master Ricardo." "Boy, you're a whiner." Maya looked at Titana in disgust. Maya said, "I hope she kills you." And Nicole said, "What?" Ricardo said, "Maya!" "I'm sorry, Titana. I'll deal with this on my way out." "Maya, we're going to have a talk about your attitude problem." Titana said, "Let the execution begin." And Nicole looked in fear as Rutchit was about to see his final moments. That's when Twinkle arrived to see that his brother was about to see his final moments. Twinkle said, "Thank God I made it back. Just wait for my signal." Sasquatch said, "I'm sorry. I should have listened to you. And now we're about to die together." That's when the executioner started to raise his axe. Rutchit said, "Please forgive them, Lord, as they're about to take our very existence." That's when Twinkle decided to take the shot right before the executioner was about to swing it at Rutchit's head. So Twinkle shot the arrow at the executioner's knee. Really? The arrow in the knee jokes? Then Rutchit knocked the executioner out with the handle of his weapon. Rutchit released Sasquatch. That's when Twinkle looked at Aunt Nicole. Twinkle said, "Hey Rutchit, your plan worked in your favor." Rutchit said, "Sasquatch, now that's how a plan is to be executed. No offense." Aunt Nicole said, "Twinkle, about time." Twinkle said, "Well, I couldn't see you guys hanging." Aunt Nicole said, "Who are you calling a guy?" Twinkle said, "My bad, a lady and her guy friends." Titana said, "Twins? Kill the Rutchitties!" Twinkle said, "Come on, that's ridiculous." Twinkle then ordered the villagers to fire away. So the villagers shot arrows in Titana's direction. Luckily, Aunt Nicole dodged the arrows in time. Aunt Nicole said, "Hey Twinkle, can you have them fire away from me next time?" Twinkle said, "Sorry about that." Titana said, "Are you serious, little girl? I'll make a woman out of you." And Nicole said, "I'm more of a woman than you." Titana said, "Oh, between Maya and you both have to be the most annoying Rutchitties in the bunch." So the villagers attacked Ricardo's soldiers and Titana's Amazons. Sasquatch said, "Hey Rutchit." Rutchit noticed the executioner woke up and he saw the villagers and attacked them one by one. He managed to take out most of the villagers until Rutchit kicked him in the face. Rutchit said, "Like you try to kill me? Now you would kill innocent lives? You want to fight, you son of a bitch? Now you got one from me." That's when the executioner tricked Rutchit and the villagers into thinking he surrendered, until he started knocking Rutchit to the ground. Titana said, "Looking for your sword? Well, it's mine." Rutchit said, "That's okay. You still love your decline." Titana said, "That's not true! Attack now!" Twinkle looked at Rutchit. Twinkle said, "Sasquatch, catch!" That's when Sasquatch grabbed his weapon and charged at Titana, and knocking Rutchit's Rutchetti sword out of Titana's hand, and he pinned her against the tent with the two blades against her throat. Titana said, "You wouldn't dare." Sasquatch said, "Try me, witch." Rutchit, "I got your sword back." Then she kicked Sasquatch and his gobstoppers, aka his baby maker. Sasquatch fell backwards. Titana said, "What a man you are, king of the jungle." And Nicole grabbed Rutchetti's Rutchetti sword. And Nicole said, "Rutchit, catch!" Rutchit grabbed his sword. Rutchit said, "I'm putting my sword away. Now fight me, Titana, hand to hand, unless you feel like you can't impress your Rutchetti Amazons." Titana said, "What is this, a joke, Rutchetti?" Rutchit said, "Does this look like a joke to you?" Titana looked at Rutchit. Titana said, "Fine, but I'm not going easy on you." Rutchit said, "What?" So Titana started to battle Rutchit while the villagers attacked Ricardo and Titana's armies. And Nicole said, "He has no chance against her." Sasquatch said, "I'm going to help him." Rutchit noticed that Sasquatch wanted to help and stopped him before he did so. Rutchit said, "Sasquatch, this is a one-on-one, not two-on-one." Titana said, "You must be kidding." Twinkle said, "You're not as tough as you think you are. If you wanted to fight your opponents, then you shouldn't let them run for it." So Titana saw her Amazon warriors running for their ships. Titana said, "Wait, where are you going? Come back and fight!" That's when the villagers saw Ricardo's soldiers running for it too. Sasquatch said, "Yeah, take them out! Show them who's boss!" Maya said, "Like me?" And Nicole said, "No, like me." Maya said, "Watch it!" That's when the villagers started chasing them while our hero tried to prove he could defeat his opponent no matter what by defending himself against Titana. Titana said, "What is this, the karate flick where you drop dead on the ground?" Rutchit said, "You're the one talking about dropping dead when these villagers are kicking your Rutchetti Amazon's butt, and now Ricardo's army is dropping like flies as well." That's when Titana charged at Rutchit, but then he knocked her to the ground with a kick to the face. Titana said, "That was dirty, Rutchetti." Rutchit said, "Well, then you defend yourself too, witch." Twinkle knew he had to go help Aunt Nicole and Sasquatch, so Rutchit saw what Twinkle was doing. Rutchit said, "Twinkle, where are you going?" Twinkle said, "To help your friends, Rutchit." Maya said, "Ooh, that was a bad idea for him to leave you behind." Titana said, "Why are you still here?" Maya said, "To see you knock out the Rutchit, Grandma." Ricardo said, "Maya, stop interfering with their battle." Maya said, "But Master Ricardo." Titana said, "But Master Ricardo." Maya said, "Boy, you sound like a grandma." "Oh, pretty girl, can you take me across the street?" "I would love to take you across the street, Grandma Titana." Ricardo said, "Enough! Maya, now!" Maya said, "Good luck, Rutchit. I hope you take this Rutchit Amazon out." Ricardo said, "Maya!" Maya looked at Rutchit. Maya said, "I hope one of you dies. I'm betting on the grandma." Titana kicked Rutchit in the face and punched him in the gut, knocking him to the ground. Titana said, "Looks like Maya is going to lose the bet." Maya said, "Don't count on it." Ricardo heard Maya. Ricardo said, "Maya!" Rutchit said, "It looks like Ricardo's student has faith in me." Maya said, "Dream on. I'd rather take you out, too." Muku pulled her to the side. Muku said, "You will learn some manners." Maya said, "I'm sorry. I just wanted to help." Ricardo said, "Muku, knock it off. Come on, Maya. You're lucky that I like you at all. You won't be lucky next time with Muku." Maya said, "He better watch his back." Ricardo said, "Maya!" So Titana attacked Rutchit, but he kept dodging her, but it was making him weaker. So he ran to a nearby area and hid by some trees. Titana looked for Rutchit. Titana said, come out, wherever you are. I got a gingerbread house with your name on it." Rutchit said, "No, thank you. Me just a little boy." Titana said, "You can't hide forever, Rutchit. I will destroy you, and if I can't destroy you, then Stryker will." That's when Rutchit was so scared that he thought that hope was lost for him. Then he remembered a phrase that Rico told him when he was a young lad. Rico said, "What's wrong? Why the long face?" Rutchit said, "Well, Master Shaman is being hard on me." Rico said, "I'll tell you what. I wasn't always the Rutchit warrior you see today." Rutchit said, "Really? Is that true?" Rico said, "Yeah. I was like you once, and I was unprepared for what was to lie in front of me. Plus my master Winku was an amazing Rutchit master, and he knew when I was screwing up too. But day after day I started to get better. But Winku said to me, as much as he was proud of me doing well in my training, that I had a long way to go." Rutchit said, "Rico, will I ever be a Rutchit warrior like my father before me?" Rico said, "If you practice every day and ace every test, then the sky is the limit for you." Rutchit said, "Thanks." Rutchit snapped out of it. Rutchit said, "Titana, if you want this battle to continue, then we'll have to battle through the jungle." Titana said, "It's on, Rutchit." So basically, Sasquatch and Nicole start to run in different directions. Rutchit said, "If you want me, you'll have to follow me to the jungle and fight me there." Titana said, "I accept your offer, Rutchit, and as soon as I get you, you're mine." Rutchit said, "Come and get me then." Rutchit catches up to them and tells Sasquatch to go left, and Nicole goes right, and he goes down the middle with Titana on his trail. Ricardo's armies start to get close to them, and they start to defend themselves by knocking out several of the villagers one by one. But then the villagers get the upper hand until Titana started to attack them with her Rutchit blast. Rutchit said, "Titana, you coward! I'm the one you're fighting, not them." That's when Rutchit and Titana started to duel. Meanwhile, more villagers show up to help the other villagers with Ricardo's army. Ricardo stood there and watched the battle going. That's when Rutchit and Titana fought through the forest with their swords, going back and forth with their swords clashing. Then they went back to hand combat, and they started to block each other's kicks. That's when Titana grabbed her sword, and he tried to go for his, but she put her foot on top of it, and that's when she had the upper hand at first, until a Rutchit appeared and physically attacked Titana. Titana said, "Who are you?" The shadowy figure revealed their name properly. Sydney said, "My name is Sydney." Sasquatch said, "What? That's your name?" Rutchit said, "Hey Rutchit, can you help me with this witch of an Amazon?" Titana said, "Don't make promises for this Rutchit that you can't keep." Sasquatch said, "Wait, after all that, and you ask her for your help?" Rutchit said, "Not a good time for this, Sasquatch. We'll talk about it later." Sydney said, "You look weak. Maybe you should let me take care of Titana." Rutchit said, "No, I can't let my weakness get the best of me." Sydney said, "Well, Rutchit, it's on then." Rutchit said, "I second that." That's when Rutchit and this Rutchit decided to team up and whip her butt. That's when Titana decided to attack them. Titana said, "You said to your pet lion that you didn't want a 2-on-1 battle? Why the sudden change? Muku looked at Titana. Muku said, you call yourself a warrior? Take out the Rutchit already. Rutchit said, Sid, keep your guard up at all times. So then Titana started to chase them up through the trees. They started to block Titana's attacks and basically get the upper hand until that moment when Titana knocks Rutchit and Sydney to the ground. And Nicole said, enough! You treated me like crap when I was a part of your awful Amazon army. Titana said, silence! And Nicole said, no! I'm sick and tired of you treating your Rutchit Amazons with disrespect. No wonder they're not helping you now. Titana said, shut it, little girl. And Nicole said, I'll challenge you to a battle. Titana said, what? A puny little girl fighting your battles for your Rutchit? Muku said, put your money where your mouth is. Ricardo said, you talk the talk, but walk the walk. And Nicole said, well, this puny little girl is going to kick your ass. Titana said, you're pathetic. And Nicole said, bring it on, witch. So basically, she showed up Titana by attacking her, but they block each other's attacks. Titana said, is that all you got, little girl? Ricardo said, let's talk more fighting. That's when Anne Nicole knew she had to do something with this duel with Titana and quick. So Anne Nicole grabs a spear and Titana takes out her sword and basically go into a duel for the ages. Anne Nicole starts to remember all of the training Rutchit taught her and basically gave her a taste of her mind. While Rutchit and the Rutchit helped Sasquatch and Twinkle defeat her army. Titana said, what is going on? Fight them, you numbskulls! And Nicole said, just face it, Titana. You're gonna die unless you surrender. Rutchit said, don't do this, Anne. Sasquatch said, what is wrong with you, man? Sydney said, take out that coward. Titana said, shut up, shut up, shut up! Twinkle said, did someone forget to wish for a better plan? Rutchit said, help us out, please. So Titana attacked Anne Nicole with her sword, but Anne Nicole blocked Titana's moves while Anne Nicole roundhouse kicked her in the face. Anne Nicole said, who's the little girl now? Titana said, you just lucky so far. Anne Nicole said, luck? You can't even tell me that you're making this easy for me. Titana said, what if I said you have beginner's luck? Oh, poor baby. Anne Nicole said, that beats the purpose. Titana said, beat this. Then Anne Nicole blocked her sword with the spear and punched her in the stomach. Titana said, who are you? And what have you done with that little girl? Anne Nicole said, this puny little girl was trained by a future Rutchit master and is stronger than ever. And that's when Anne Nicole knocked Titana to the ground with a back kick. Ricardo said, you failed me. Titana said, please, Ricardo, I could beat her. Just give me time. That's when Titana started to charge at Anne Nicole. Titana said, here I come, you Rutchit scum. That's when Titana went for the attack, but Anne Nicole used the spear to block Titana. Titana said, hold still, Rutchit, or was it hard for you to live in my shadow? That's when Anne Nicole had enough. Titana said, what are you doing? Anne Nicole said, shutting you up. That's when Titana tried to make her move towards Anne Nicole, but it was the wrong one. And Anne Nicole delivered the fatal blow, spearing her in the chest. Anne Nicole said, love your decline in hell. Titana said, impossible. Hope Striker destroys you. So that's when Titana fell to the ground and breathed her last, dying from her wounds. So then Ricardo saw what happened to Titana. He told his soldiers to retreat. But that's when Sasquatch and Twinkle wondered why Ricardo would leave with his soldiers. Twinkle said, well, my time here is done for now. I'll be heading out. Rutchit said, when do we see you again, brother? Twinkle said, when we go to war with Ricardo's soldiers. But until then, I'm gone. Peace. That's when Rutchit noticed a strange castle. Rutchit said, Sydney, why is that castle there? Sydney said, that for some odd reason that it appeared many years ago without a reason how it even got there to begin with. And Nicole said, why would a castle be way out there when we're in the jungle and there wouldn't be a way for someone to have a castle built in the middle of the jungle? Rutchit knew they needed to confront who was in that castle. Sasquatch said, it's crazy. We need a plan to make sure we don't get killed on our way there. Rutchit said, if you have a plan, love to hear it. Sasquatch said, okay. So basically we split up and go in different directions. Sydney said, hold up. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have got this far. They looked at each other. Rutchit said, who said that? Speak up. Sydney said, my name is Sydney Monroe. Sasquatch said, wait, Monroe? That means you're my cousin. Sydney looked in shock as she didn't realize Sasquatch was her cousin. Rutchit said, "Whoever she is, how do we know her plan is better than ours?" Sydney said, "Well, one, you had a gem that goes into the Rutchit stone, the same stone you pulled that sword out of." Sasquatch said, "Wait, that Rutchit sword?" And Nicole said, "You mean you're the chosen one?" Rutchit said, "So what if I was the chosen one? How does that make anything different?" Sydney said, "Because you're the one who will save the universe from the evils around us." That's when a soldier aimed at Rutchit, and when Rutchit dodged it, he used his serpent slash to take out the soldier. That's when Rutchit realized they need to head to the castle. So they ran out of the jungle with the soldiers trailing them, and they got as far as a bridge. Rutchit said, "Get to the other side of the bridge." Sasquatch said, "What about you?" Rutchit said, "I'm going to cut down the bridge with my serpent slash halfway across the bridge, but not until you and the others get across." So as soon as they got across, Rutchit got as far as the midway section of the bridge, and the soldiers saw that he was about to cut it down, slashed it with his serpent slash while holding onto the bridge for dear life while sailing across. In real life, he would have fell to his death. Basically, Nicole thought he fell, but Sasquatch spotted him hanging on to the side of the bridge and started to pull him up the bridge. But Rutchit was too heavy. But Nicole, Sydney, and this huge creature decided to help them pull Rutchit up off the cliff. They pulled and pulled and pulled the bridge up until Rutchit was safely up the cliff. Nicole said, "Don't you ever do that again." Ricardo said, "No, don't even bother. There's Striker the Quack's problem now." These weird creatures started to stare at them. Nicole looked at Rutchit. Nicole said, "Are you sure we're safe?" Rutchit said, "As long as you don't give them no mind, you should be fine." But a Moulin went to Striker the Quack and told them everything. Striker said, "Let them come. They wouldn't last a day in my castle." So Rutchit, Sasquatch, Nicole, and Sydney were halfway to the castle when all of a sudden, in the corner of her eye, that Sydney noticed some eyes in the distance. Sydney said, "I don't know if you want to pay them no mind, but they are being really creepy." Rutchit said, "Again, I told this to Nicole as well." Then the pair of eyes turned into multiple eyes, and that's when Rutchit was very concerned. Rutchit said, "I'm going to do something that I might regret." Sydney said, "What is that?" Rutchit said, "This! Serpent slash!" That's when a Moulin started to run to the castle. Rutchit said, "Did you see that little pink creature?" And Nicole said, "That's weird." Sasquatch said, "That's a Moulin. What's it doing here?" And Nicole said, "That's a good question, buddy." So Rutchit knew he had to get them to the castle safely. Meanwhile, Twinkle headed to Rutchit's Rutchit jet when Ricardo and Muku spotted him. Twinkle said, "I don't have time to be messing with you." Ricardo said, "You don't have much of a choice." Muku said, "Oh, he's mine." Ricardo said, "Good luck." Twinkle said, "Coward. Knew you would head out and leave me with your lackey." Muku said, "How dare you think you're going to get off so easily, you Rutchit scum." So Muku and Twinkle started to fight, and they became evenly matched. Muku said, "How can you keep up with me so?" Twinkle said, "Why don't you ask your boss? He would love to throw you under the bus too." Muku said, "You really didn't learn any manners for your elders." Maya said, "Who would love that resting fart face?" Twinkle said, "You're the one to talk, not to mention when Ricardo is older than you." Maya said, "You're an ignorant douche." Twinkle said, "Who's this, a fan of yours?" Muku said, "That is Maya Trunksocks. She is the sister of the one that your brother had sentenced to death inside Dicky Rocky." Twinkle said, "Wait, so you the sister of the Rutchit warrior who was sentenced to death because he killed a student of my brother? You're a sick individual." Maya said, "Let me take him out. He wouldn't have a chance against me." Muku said, "Patience, Maya. Let the master show you how it's done." Maya said, "Okay, Muku." So Muku and Twinkle start the battle off, and they were evenly matched at first. Maya tried to watch patiently while her mentor and their rival was fighting each other. Then Twinkle knocked Muku to the ground. Twinkle said, "How insulting. How can you be trained by this traitor? You should be training with the best, like Master Shaman." Maya said, "I would train this." So Maya shot an electric current into Twinkle, throwing him into the other side of the area. Muku said, "You thought you would get Ricardo's student to go train with my brother and the other Rutchit warriors? Well, you have another thing coming." That's when Muku, seeing that Twinkle was weakened by Maya's Rutchit powers, tried to take advantage of the moment when Master Shaman showed up just in the nick of time. Muku said, "Are you kidding me? How did you even know I was here?" Twinkle said, "I had a homing beacon planted on my nice jetpack." Muku said, Not so amazing after that blast. Maya said, so that Rutchit twin is here with Muku's dusty old brother? You listen really carefully. I will make sure that the Rutchit will pay for killing my brother. That's when Master Shaman looked at Maya. Master Shaman said, listen, Maya, your brother broke the Rutchit tradition. Rutchit had no choice. You knew what would happen if you and Roy worked for Ricardo. Twinkle said, Ricardo doesn't care about you. You were a little baby when Ricardo took you in. Maya said, and my brother suffered, Rutchit scum. Twinkle said, Shaman, let me take her on. I could beat her. That's when Master Shaman knew Twinkle was in no shape to fight after seeing him barely stand, and had to really think fast. Master Shaman said, Twinkle, you're in no condition to fight Maya. Muku said, fight me then, brother. Twinkle said, it's true, this traitor is your brother. No wonder I wasn't accepted. End of chapter. If you enjoyed this, do yourself a favor and click the like button, leave a comment below the screen, and please subscribe to this channel as Rutchit Warriors is here to stay. Click the notification bell for new content coming to this channel, and support us at patreon.com/Rutchit Warriors by Rutchit Films. It would be worth the cause. And until Chapter 7, Patience Within, I say, peace.